Welcome to aminacademy.com. Let us do human anatomy and physiology, in that the human body and its constituents. Internal communication. This is carried out through the activities of the nervous and endocrine system. Nervous system. The nervous system is a rapid communication system. The main components are shown in figure. The central nervous system consists of the brain situated inside the skull, the spinal cord, which extends from the base of the skull to the lumbar region. It is protected from injury as it lies within the bones of the spinal column. The peripheral nervous system is a network of nerve fibers which are either sensory or afferent nerves that transmit signals from the body to the brain. Motor or efferent nerves which transmit signals from the brain to the effector organs such as muscles and glands. The somatic common senses are pain, touch, heat, and cold, and these sensations arises from the stimulation of the specialized sensor receptors at nerve endings found throughout the skin. The communication along nerve fibers cell is by electrical impulses that are generated when nerve ending are stimulated. Nerve impulses, action potentials travel at great speed, so responses are almost immediate, making rapid and fine adjustments of body functions possible. Next one, endocrine system. The endocrine system consists of a number of discrete glands situated in different parts of the body. They synthesize and secrete chemical messengers called hormones that circulate around the body in a blood. Hormones stimulate target glands or tissues, influencing metabolic and other cellular activities and regulating body growth and maturization. Endocrine glands detect the respective level of particular substances in the blood, including specific hormones. Changes in blood hormones levels are usually controlled by negative feedback mechanisms. Next one, communication with the external environment, that is a spatial senses. Stimulating of a specialized receptors in sensory organs or tissues gives rise to the sensation of sight, hearing, balance, smell, and taste. Although these senses are usually considered to be separate and different from each other. Next one, verbal communication. Verbal and non-verbal communication. In that, what is verbal communication? Sound is produced in the larynx when expired air coming from the lungs passes through and vibration of vocal cords. During expiration, the in humans recognize the sounds produced by coordinated contraction of the muscles of the throat and cheeks, and movement of the tongue and lower jaw is known as speech. Non-verbal communication. Postures and movements are often associated with non-verbal communications. Example, nodding the head of shrugging the shoulders. The skeleton provides the bony framework of the body, and movements takes place at joints between bones. Skeletal muscles move the skeleton and attach bones to one another, spanning one or more joints in between. These are stimulated by the part of the nervous system under voluntary, that is conscious control. Some nonverbal communication, example, changes in facial expression may not involve the movement of bones. Now we'll further discuss about some details about these things. First, first we'll talk about internal communication, that is a nervous system, how it works. In the context of the human body, the internal communication function is primarily carried out by the nervous system, which uses electrical and chemical signals transmitted through nerve cells, that is neurons, to relay information between different parts of the body, allowing for rapid and coordinated responses to the stimuli, essentially acting as the body's primary communication network. The brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves is the network. Key points about the nervous system and internal communication. First mechanism, nervous communication communicate by sending electrical impulses along their axons, which then trigger the release of chemical messengers called neurotransmitters or synapses, junction between the neurons, where the signal is passed on to the next neuron. Components. The nervous system consists of the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, which processes information, and the peripheral nervous system, nerves branching out of the body, which transmits signals to and from the central nervous system. Types of signals. Sensory signals. Information received from sensory organs like eyes, ears, and skin sent to the brain for processing. Motor signals, instructions sent from the brain to muscles to initiate. Speed of communication. The nervous system allows for very fast communication due to the electrical nature of the signal. Next, we'll talk about endocrine system. The endocrine system is a network of glands that releases hormones into the bloodstream. These hormones regulate many important functions in the body, including growth, metabolism, and reproduction. Parts of the endocrine system. Hypothalamus, the structure of the brain that connects the endocrine system to the nervous system. It sends information about temperature, light, and feeling to the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, a small gland at the base of the brain that produces hormones that control other endocrine glands. It's often called the master gland. Adrenal glands, located on top of the kidneys, these glands produces hormones that regulate blood pressure, heart rate, and stress response. Parathyroid glands, four small glands located around the thyroid gland in the throat. They produce parathyroid hormone, which regulates calcium levels in the blood. Pancreas, the organ in the abdomen that produces insulin and glucagon, which helps maintain healthy blood sugar level. Ovaries produce estrogen and other hormones that control menstruation, egg maturation, and reproduction. Testes produces sperm and testosterone. Other functions of the endocrine glands include controlling growth, controlling metabolism, controlling milk production, controlling blood pressure, controlling body waste water balance, controlling steroid levels. Now we'll talk about special senses. In special senses is in a human anatomy or the sense that have specialized organs for them. These senses include vision. The eyes are the organs that allow us to see. Hearing. The ears are the organs that allow us to hear. Balance. The ears are also the organs that allow us to balance. Smell, the nose is the organ that allows us to smell. Taste, the tongue is the organ that allows us to taste. How the senses work. Hearing, sound waves enter the ear through the ear canal and vibrate the eardrum. The vibration travels through the middle ear bones, which amplify them. The vibration when travel to the cochlea, where the brain interprets them as sound. Smell, chemicals in the air bind to receptors in the nasal cavity. This triggers a signal that travels to the olfactory bulbs, which then send the signal to the brain. Taste, the tongue allows us to taste. Special senses are processed by the cranial nerves and differ from general senses, which include touch, pain, temperature, and pressure. Next one, verbal and non-verbal communication in the human anatomy. In human anatomy, verbal communication refers to the exchange of information using spoken words, while non-verbal communication involves conveying messages through body languages, facial expressions, gestures, and other physical cues. Essentially, communicating without speaking directly, both play a crucial role in social interactions and understanding one another, even though they are not directly related to the physical structure of the human body itself. Key points about verbal and non-verbal communication in human anatomy. Verbal communication mechanism, sounds produced by the vocal cords in the larynx, voice box, that are then articulated by the mouth and tongue to form words. Relevant anatomy, brain regions responsible for the language processing, including Broca area, speech production, and Wernicke's area, language comprehensions. Nonverbal communication mechanisms, facial expressions controlled by facial muscles, hand gestures, posture, and body movements, eye contact, and spatial distances, proxemics. Relevant anatomy, facial nerves controlling facial expressions, muscles of the body for posture and movement, visual system for eye contact. Examples of nonverbal communication in human anatomy. Facial expressions, raised eyebrow can indicate surprise, while furrowed brows might signal concerns. Gestures, waving a hand to greet someone, pointing to indicate direction. Body postures, crossed arms can signify defensiveness, while leaning forward can show engagements. Eye contact. Maintaining eye contact can convey interest and attentiveness, while avoiding eye contact might signal discomfort. So far, we discussed a little about human body constituents and their working. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.